guys, welcome back to the channel. We're on GT Sport Daily Race C. Really great to be back. Got the little webcam on the side here so you can kind of see me playing the game as well as obviously watching the actual game itself. Just want to quickly get off my chest. Sorry for the lack of uploads for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Just been sorting a few things out of my personal life, things that to take a priority over playing video games. But anyway, let's get started. I'm from 3rd position, Sardinia. Good little track this is. I do like the short tracks. They do make for some good racing. It's not all about the qualifying time, which is good. I enjoy that. We can actually make some overtakes. Good high-speed corners into some high-speed straights into slow speed corners. Anyway, so we just want to keep this guy in 2nd place honest here. We want to pull away from the pack as much as we can. We don't want to get swallowed up by this Porsche who's keeping us honest in the rear view mirror here. So anyway, coming into the start of the 2nd sector now. Person in front versus Michael. He's doing pretty well in the Audi. The Audi seems to be pretty OP. It always kind of seems to be the car to go for when qualifying. The race, it does fall down a little bit. Some people prefer the handling of the Porsche, who is a bit more gentle on the tyres. There is a pit stop in this race. Well, I do go for a pit stop anyway. I think you'd be too slow at the end of the race if you try and hold it for 15 laps on the same set. Well, the fuel actually is the main thing. You could pit for tyres, but you would probably lose too much time. Because we're all on the hards anyway, so the tyre wear is not too bad, but after about 10 laps or so you do start to feel the understeer, which this game does promote, the handling physics. But we just ended lap 1, holding position. We got a little bit of a gap ahead and a little bit of gap behind us as well. What's that? I think it's about 8 tenths behind us. So we're doing pretty well. Coming on to lap 2. The Audi up ahead, keeping the guy in 1st position honest, is all over the rear bumper of that Mercedes. So we're just going to hang back a little bit, let the confusion in front of us unfold a little bit and pick up the pieces. Because if you get involved yourself, become actively a part of the people in front fighting, 1, you're going to lose time, and 2, you might end up crashing yourself. So it's a long race, a bit of a marathon rather than a sprint. Some of these GT Sport daily races are 4 or 5 laps long, so you sometimes just have to go for it. As we're talking about going for it, we go down the inside of this Audi. I do outbrake myself just a tiny little bit, gets a bit messy. No one actually lost too much time. Well, no, we lost too much. We lost a lot of time, should I say, but we didn't lose track position. As the Porsche go down the inside of me, makes contact with the Audi, who does have a 3-second penalty up ahead. So he's trying to capitalise on that a little bit by going down the inside of that Mercedes, but they do touch a little bit. This Porsche on the outside, he just gets 2 wheels on the grass and sends it round into the realm of the shadow there. So coming on to the end of lap 2, all kicks off. So as we cross over to the end of, coming to the end of lap 3, we put pressure on the Merc up in front, who does feed it a little bit and does exactly the same as the Porsche did the lap previous, and it just gets 2 wheels on the grass. So now the game has changed a little bit. We've gone from keeping ahead to now we've got to keep them behind us. And there's a Mercedes in behind us. He's getting the slipstream, so I place my car in the centre of the track, as you can see. Potentially has a look down the inside, but I think it's better if it's sticking behind me in the red and grey, gradient. This is a livery that I made myself. I think it looks pretty cool. Probably a few things I would improve on it, but it was just messing around in the livery editor back when I first started playing GT Sport. But yeah, so we need to get our head down now, save a bit of fuel, and just keep the guys behind us really, because when it comes to pit stops, track position would be vital. We don't want to start losing time, especially if we get swallowed up by the person behind us. If they start fighting us, then we're just going to lose a lot of time. So we put it to hyperspeed here, DRS and KERS activated. So we're having a good little race up in front, taking the lead of the pack at the moment. We're doing pretty well, keeping it consistent, no glaring errors to really talk about really. Like I said, just keep your head down, keep it focused. One lap 8, so it was like 3 or 4 laps we managed to stay in front for. We still do have the presence of the Mercedes right in the mirror behind us there, and the rest of the pack actually that's behind him. We've got a little bit of a gap as we're going to come up to think about pitting on lap 8, which is roughly around about halfway into the race, and we just get a tiny little tap from the rear end, putting us in the gravel. The Merc itself as well, he's lost loads of time, so we drop into 3rd position, back where we started, and that's kind of been a bit of a story of my life really for this race. We did everything right, but in the end we kind of did get let down a little bit by someone else's error. I spoke to them after the race, they were cool about it, I was cool about it. So, look, at the end of the day, it's only a game. I don't want to get too mad, there's better things to be worrying about than a video game. But anyway, we spoke about it on PlayStation after. No big deal. We just need to keep our head down, keep concentrating as we dive into the pits here. Very quick pit stop here without actually changing any tyres or adding more fuel. It's you lose probably about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. With the fuel, obviously, you do lose more time. So we've got stop duration of 6 seconds there. Whole pit time duration of just about 13 dead. I did underfuel the car. It was a bit of a half mistake. I didn't mean to underfuel the car as much as I did, but I did want to underfuel just so it'd be a bit lighter. In some ways kind of did come back to haunt me a little bit towards the end of the race, so I had to do a bit more fuel saving. I think it probably would have worked better if I was up in the lead, because I could fuel save and hold the position, but as you'll see later on in the race, I do have to fuel save quite drastically. I think about two laps worth of fuel I should have put in, rather than about 5.5 laps rather than 7. So. So moving on to lap 11, we have the company of C. James, a guy that took us off in the 8th lap, coming back against me. The slipstream was quite powerful on those back straights, so I do look to go on the inside of him again, but I think better of it, I don't want to just nail him and take him off, or both of us off again. But yeah, so just trying to keep track position. Maybe I could use the slipstream a little bit to save a bit more fuel and get him to pull me along a little bit as we come into the second half of the race, lap 11 I believe. The livery does look pretty cool in these replay cameras. I just wish I didn't have the black bars either side, but top and bottom, should I say. In 4th position, we're doing pretty well. Like I said, we wish we could have been a bit higher up really, but from something that wasn't my mistake. Like if I made the mistake myself, I'd hold my hands and be like, look, I spun the car. But it was because someone else drove into me that the reason why we're back in 4th position, when we should probably be at least 2nd or maybe even leading the race. But again, it's just come back to consistency, as C. James gets it all wrong for the 2nd time in this race on this tight right-hander hairpin. It is quite difficult because if you touch the apex too narrow, the car will bounce and you'll have both wheels come off the floor, or at least one of them off the floor anyway, so you won't be able to turn in. If you go too wide, then you'll touch the gravel, should I say, on the outside and put the car facing the wrong way. So it is a bit of a balancing act between pushing into the corner and making sure you don't spin coming out of it as well, which is quite cool. I do enjoy the challenges that this game does throw up, especially Spa-Francorchamps was quite difficult in this game compared to Assetto Corsa. So this is what I was talking about with running out of fuel. So I had 1.2 laps remaining as I come into the last lap now, where we're on the lower power mode of the engine. The Audi R8 just kind of goes around the outside of me. I can't really fight it. There's not too much I could have done. I could have potentially looked down the inside of him, maybe push him into a mistake. Well, not physically push him, but make him make a mistake. But he holds it all together quite well. And the same guy that was actually started 2nd at the start of the race as well. So he had a relatively decent recovery. It's a shame that we couldn't keep it in front of him after bear in mind he did spin about 13 laps ago now, I would say, or 12 laps ago. But as we're just going to round up coming to the end of this race, like I said at the start of the video, I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I just wanted to get things together and settled in of what I'm doing and everything at the moment in my personal life rather than making YouTube videos, but we should be back on it now. Well, I will be back on it making videos. We try and stream as much as I can as well, but it is quite difficult to do that when I got like other bits and bobs that I got as like kind of takes my priority a little bit. But anyway guys, I hope you do enjoy this video. The last like full-on video, like commentary video I made did really well, so thank you for that. And yeah, I got a few little updates on the stream, like graphics and stuff like that, like overlays, so it should look pretty good. I'm trying to like keep the production value up quite high. That's what I like to do. Always push myself to make better videos each time I upload. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for improvements or feedback or whatever, driving and video based, then I'll be welcome to hear it all. As we cross the line, the final result I believe was fourth. Yeah, fourth position, 11.5 off the leader, but we didn't get any penalties and we drove pretty well. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.